biodiversity crisis. Biodiversity or biological diversity is a term that describes the variety of living beings on Earth. It encompasses microorganisms, plants, animals, and ecosystems such as coral reef, forest, rainforest, and deserts. Biodiversity also refers to as the number or abundance of different species living within a particular region. It represents the wealth of biological resources available to us. No feature of Earth is more complex, dynamic, and varied than the layer of living organisms that occupy its surfaces and its seas. And no feature is experiencing more dramatic change at the hands of humans than this extraordinary, singularly unique feature of Earth. This layer of living organisms, the biosphere, through the collective metabolic activities of its innumerable plants, animals, and microbes, physically and chemically unites the atmosphere, geosphere, and hydrosphere into one environmental system within which millions of species, including human, have thrived. If we pollute the air, water, and soil that keep us alive and well, and destroy the biodiversity that allows natural systems to function, no amount of money will save us. Biodiversity is the result of 3.5 billion years of evolution. It has been subject to periods of extinction. The latest and most destructive stage of extinction is Holocene extinction, which has occurred due to the impact of human beings on the environment. As the human population grows, so too does the amount of land it requires for food. The human impact on biodiversity has largely been negative over the past few centuries. The extinction rate has climbed to as much as 1,000 times the estimated natural rate. The Earth's biodiversity is in grave danger. In the present era, human beings are the most dangerous cause of destruction of the Earth's biodiversity, taking nature's pool included that of 5 major stresses that threaten biodiversity. The main threats facing biodiversity globally are the destruction, degradation, and fragmentation of habitats, exploitation of species, pollution, introduction of alien species, and global climate change. Habitat degradation is fueled by a fast-growing human population. As the population increases, humans use more land for agriculture and for the development of cities and towns, spread out over ever-widening areas. Habitat destruction is the process by which natural habitat is damaged or destroyed to such an extent that it is no longer capable of supporting the species and ecological communities that naturally occur. It often results in the extinction of species and the loss of biodiversity. Habitat fragmentation reduces animals' ranges and restricts movement, placing animals in this area at higher risk of extinction. Breaking up habitat can also separate animals' population, reducing genetic diversity. Exploitation of species means harvesting species from wild at a rate faster than natural population can recover. Overfishing and overhunting are both types of exploitation. Currently, about a third of the world's endangered vertebrates are threatened by overexploitation. Humans often take too many of one species from their natural habitat. Typically, this involves a species used as a food source. When a species is harvested or taken at a rate faster than the population can compensate for, the population is considered as overexploited or overharvested. When the population number of a species declines to the point where the animal or plant could possibly go extinct or cease to exist, the organism is classified as endangered. Removing a species from their natural habitat can be detrimental. Not only does this threaten the biodiversity of the variation of life within an ecosystem, but it also disrupts the balance of the ecosystem itself. Atmospheric and hydrologic pollution have far-reaching negative effects on biodiversity. Pollution from burning fossil fuels such as oil, coal and gas can remain in the air as particle pollutants or fall into the ground as acid rain. Acid rain, which is primarily composed of sulfuric and nitric acid, causes acidification of lakes, streams, and sensitive forest soil and contribute to lower forest growth and tree damage at high elevations. In addition, chemical pollutants such as pesticides and herbicides leach into the soil and watersheds. Polluted streams result in the abandonment of traditional spawning areas and ultimately in the loss of populations. A species' sensitivity to pollution is variable. However, many species are vulnerable to the indirect effect of pollution through the concentration of toxic chemicals in top predators of food chain and disruption of predator-prey interaction. The introduction of alien species. Infestation by alien species, the intentional and inadvertent introduction of a wide variety of species to ecosystems in which they do not belong, have resulted in ecosystems that differ radically in structure and function from those originally present. Exotic species are typically introduced into ecosystems without their co-evolved predators and parasites, which enables an alien invaders to outcompete native species with similar ecological requirements. The interactions between native species are altered or destroyed by these exotic species and can result in the loss of native biodiversity. And also global climate change. Carbon dioxide released from burning fossil fuels and biomass, deforestation and agricultural practices contributes to greenhouse gases, which prevent heat from escaping the Earth's surface. With the increase in temperature expected from increasing greenhouse gases, there will be higher level of air pollution, greater variability in weather patterns, and changes in distribution of vegetation in the landscape. Some species will not be able to adapt to these changes in the environment and will become extinct. However, it is expected that many plants and animal species will attempt to disappear to higher latitude and altitude as the temperature increases. Therefore, any barriers in the landscape such as highways and urban areas that prevent movement to more hospitable environments will result in loss of biodiversity. Biological diversity or biodiversity is the scientific term for the variety of life on Earth. It refers not just to species but also to ecosystems and differences in genes within a single species. Everywhere on planet, species live together and depend on one another. Every living thing, including man, is involved in these complex networks of independent relationships, which are called ecosystem. Healthy ecosystems clean our water, purify our air, maintain our soil, regulate the climate, recycle nutrients, and provide us with food. They provide raw materials from resources for medicines and other purposes. They are at the foundation of all civilization and sustain our economies. It's that simple. We could not live without these ecosystem services. They are what we call our natural capital. Biodiversity is the key indicator of the health of an ecosystem. A wide variety of species will cope better with threat than a limited number of them in large populations. Even if a certain species are affected by pollution, climate change, or human activities, the ecosystem as a whole may adapt and survive. But the extinction of species may have unforeseen impacts, sometimes snowballing into the destruction of the entire ecosystem.